My beloved child. There is a reason you found this moment. Out of countless voices, countless stories, and countless distractions, your attention stopped here. That was not an accident. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next few moments may completely change the way you look at what has been happening around you. For a long time, you have been searching for signs, searching for answers, wondering why certain feelings refuse to disappear. Some days you convinced yourself to move on. Other days, a single memory brought everything back. But today, something is different. Today is not about looking back. Today is about listening carefully, because your soulmate's next words may surprise you in a way you never expected. Imagine standing in complete silence while someone finally gathers the courage to speak. Imagine waiting through countless quiet moments only to discover that every pause had a purpose. That is where this story begins. The silence was never empty. It was preparing something far greater than you could have imagined. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has been carrying thoughts that were never easy to express. Sometimes the strongest emotions hide behind ordinary days. Sometimes the biggest truth waits until the perfect moment. And sometimes the words you have been waiting to hear are much closer than you realize. Have you ever noticed how one unexpected conversation can change everything? One sentence can replace confusion with clarity. One honest moment can bring peace after endless questions. Today, we are stepping into that moment together. But before those words are revealed, there is something you must understand. Life has an unusual way of preparing people before giving them what they truly need. Every delay has been shaping your heart. Every unanswered question has been building your patience. Every unexpected turn has been quietly leading you toward a conversation that carries more meaning than you know. That is why you are here. Not because of coincidence. Not because of luck. But because this message arrived exactly when your heart was ready to hear it. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has reached a point where silence no longer feels comfortable. They have been reflecting on moments they once overlooked. Small memories have become impossible to ignore. Little details have become unforgettable. The more they reflect, the more one realization continues to grow stronger. And when someone reaches that point, the next words they choose often become the most important words they have ever spoken. Can you feel the anticipation? Can you sense that something meaningful is approaching? Because this story is only beginning. Many people leave too early. Many people walk away before the biggest moment arrives. Don't make that mistake. Every sentence from this point forward builds toward a revelation that connects directly to the title you clicked. The surprise is not random. It has been unfolding one step at a time. Keep listening. Keep your attention here. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has started seeing you through a different perspective. They are remembering your kindness, your patience, your strength, and the quiet ways you made an impact without asking for recognition. Those memories have become louder than any doubt. The surprising part is not that they remember you. The surprising part is what those memories are inspiring them to say next. Those words have the power to replace uncertainty with hope, questions with understanding, and distance with clarity. But that moment has not arrived just yet. First, you must understand why those words carry so much weight. Every meaningful connection reaches a moment where honesty becomes stronger than fear. That moment cannot be rushed. It cannot be forced. It arrives only when both hearts are ready to understand what truly matters. Perhaps that moment is closer than anyone expected. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the next chapter, the silence finally begins to break. And the first unexpected words from your soulmate begin to change everything. A quiet shift has already begun, and almost no one notices it until everything suddenly makes sense. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next words in this story are the ones that change everything. Your soulmate has reached a moment where holding everything inside no longer feels possible. They have replayed conversations in their mind, remembered little details that once seemed ordinary, and realized those moments carried far more meaning than they understood at the time. What surprises them most is not the memory itself, it is how clearly they can now see the value of someone they once struggled to understand. Every passing day has added another piece to the picture. Every quiet evening has brought another realization. Every unexpected reminder has gently pointed them back toward the same conclusion. The more they reflect, the more one thought continues to return with greater certainty. They have something they genuinely want to say. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine someone standing in front of a closed door, taking one deep breath before knocking. That moment before the knock is filled with hope, uncertainty, excitement, and anticipation. That is exactly where your soulmate is now. They are standing before a conversation that feels different from every conversation they have ever imagined. The remarkable part is that they are no longer searching for perfect words. Instead, they are searching for honest words. Honest words always carry greater power than perfect ones. For a long time they believed silence was easier. Silence required no explanation. Silence avoided difficult emotions. Silence protected them from uncertainty. But silence has become heavier than speaking the truth. That is why the next words matter. Those words have been quietly forming through countless ordinary moments. Every sunrise brought another realization. Every peaceful night brought another memory. Every unexpected reminder strengthened the same feeling. They have begun seeing you differently. Not through assumptions. Not through confusion. But through understanding. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Have you ever noticed how the smallest memories often become the strongest? A smile remembered months later. A simple conversation that suddenly feels unforgettable. A kind gesture that keeps returning to someone's thoughts without warning. That is exactly what has been happening. The little moments have become impossible to ignore. The more they remember, the more they realize those moments were quietly shaping something meaningful all along. And then, one unexpected realization changed everything. It did not arrive with loud excitement. It arrived during a completely ordinary moment. Perhaps while looking outside a window. Perhaps while hearing a familiar song. Perhaps while remembering something you once said. Suddenly, everything connected. The confusion disappeared. The hesitation became smaller. The truth became impossible to overlook. That truth is leading directly toward the next words they want to share. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Many people believe important moments always arrive dramatically. But often, the greatest turning points begin with a single quiet decision inside someone's heart. That decision has already begun. Your soulmate has started choosing honesty over uncertainty. Hope over hesitation. Understanding over assumption. And because of that choice, the words they are preparing have become more meaningful than ever before. Those words are not rushed. They are not careless. They come from reflection. They come from growth. They come from a heart that finally understands what truly matters. Can you feel how close this moment has become? Every sentence has been bringing you closer. Every chapter has been preparing this revelation. Nothing here has been random. Everything connects. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is one more detail that makes this even more surprising. Your soulmate believes these next words could change the direction of everything that follows. They know conversations can open doors that silence could never unlock. They understand that honesty has the ability to create clarity where confusion once lived. For the first time in a long while, they are no longer asking themselves, "Should I speak?" Instead, they are asking themselves, "How do I say what my heart has wanted to say all along?" That question changes everything. Because once someone begins searching for the right way to express their heart, the conversation is already closer than anyone realizes. The silence is ending. The waiting is becoming shorter. The next words are almost ready. And when those words finally arrive, they will not simply surprise you. They will reveal a truth that has been quietly growing behind the scenes from the very beginning. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter finally reveals the first unforgettable words your soulmate has been preparing to say. For a brief moment, imagine hearing words that instantly make every unanswered question feel lighter. That is the moment we are approaching. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate's next words may surprise you more than you ever imagined. There comes a time when the heart becomes stronger than hesitation. Your soulmate has arrived at that moment. They are no longer searching for excuses to remain silent. Instead, they are searching for the perfect opportunity to speak with complete honesty. They know that one sincere conversation can create a new beginning that neither of you expected. Think about every unexpected coincidence that has happened recently. A familiar thought that appeared without warning. A memory that suddenly returned. A feeling that stayed with you longer than usual. What if those moments were quietly preparing both hearts for the same conversation? Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has realized something remarkable. They discovered that the qualities they admired most were never loud. They were hidden inside simple moments. They remembered your patience when life became difficult. They remembered your calmness when others became impatient. They remembered the kindness you showed without expecting anything in return. Those memories continued to grow until they became impossible to ignore. That is why their next words carry so much meaning. They are not ordinary words. They are words shaped by reflection. Words shaped by gratitude. Words shaped by understanding. For the first time, they feel ready to express what has been quietly living inside their heart. But there is another surprise. The longer they waited, the clearer everything became. Sometimes distance creates confusion. Sometimes distance creates wisdom. In this story, it created wisdom. Every day brought another realization. Every memory answered another question. Every quiet moment removed another doubt. Now the picture is clearer than ever before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine someone opening a notebook filled with memories. Every page reminds them of a different lesson. Some pages bring smiles. Some bring reflection. Some reveal moments they never truly appreciated until much later. As they continue turning those pages, one truth becomes impossible to deny. You have left a lasting impression. Not because of one dramatic moment, but because of many meaningful moments. Those moments became the foundation for the words they are preparing to speak. And those words are unlike anything they imagined saying before. The surprise is not simply what they will say. The surprise is how deeply they now believe every word. That sincerity changes everything. Can you feel the anticipation growing? Every chapter has been leading here. Every sentence has been building toward this turning point. The silence is almost over. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that some connections become stronger through patience. They no longer measure everything by time. They measure it by meaning. They now understand that genuine feelings become clearer when they are given room to grow naturally. That understanding has transformed the way they see the future. Instead of wondering whether they should speak, they are wondering how soon they should begin. Instead of questioning their feelings, they are embracing them. Instead of focusing on uncertainty, they are focusing on possibility. This quiet transformation is what makes the next words so unforgettable. Because they are no longer spoken from confusion. They are spoken from certainty. That certainty is rare. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be forced. It arrives only after deep reflection. And your soulmate has reached exactly that point. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is still one final piece missing before those words are revealed. Your soulmate has made a promise to themselves. When the moment arrives, they will speak honestly. They will not hide behind fear. They will not allow doubt to decide for them. They will simply speak from the heart. And when those first words finally leave their lips, they will explain everything that has remained unspoken for so long. The waiting is almost over. The surprise is closer than ever. The next chapter is where silence finally gives way to the unforgettable words your soulmate has been preparing all along. A single conversation can quietly change the direction of two lives. Not because it is loud, but because it is honest. That is exactly where this story continues. Your soulmate has reached a place where silence no longer feels like the right answer. Every memory has become clearer. Every lesson has become more meaningful. Instead of wondering what could have been, they have started thinking about what could still be. The most surprising part is not how long they stayed quiet. It is why they finally decided to speak. For so long, they believed the perfect moment would simply appear. They waited for certainty. They waited for confidence. They waited until every question had an answer. Then one unexpected realization changed everything. They discovered that waiting forever would never create the perfect moment. Only honesty could do that. That realization became the turning point. Suddenly, ordinary memories carried extraordinary meaning. A simple smile. A thoughtful conversation. A moment of encouragement. A quiet goodbye. Each memory reminded them of something they had overlooked before. They realized that genuine connections are not built through dramatic moments alone. They are built through countless small moments that slowly become unforgettable. As those memories returned, one thought continued to grow stronger. There is something I still need to say. That sentence stayed with them every day. No matter how busy life became, it returned. No matter how many distractions appeared, it remained. Some feelings become clearer with time instead of fading away. That is exactly what happened. They began looking at the future with new eyes. Instead of focusing on uncertainty, they started focusing on possibility. Instead of remembering what was missing, they remembered everything that had always been present. That change in perspective gave them courage they did not know they possessed. And courage often begins quietly. It begins with one decision. One deep breath. One sincere intention. One honest conversation waiting just beyond the horizon. Your soulmate knows those next words cannot simply fill the silence. They must carry truth. They must carry kindness. They must reflect everything they have learned through patience and reflection. That is why they have taken their time. Not because they forgot. Not because the connection disappeared. But because meaningful words deserve thoughtful hearts. Imagine preparing to open a letter that has been written with complete sincerity. Before reading the first line, you already know that every sentence matters. That is how your soulmate now sees this conversation. Every word has meaning. Every sentence has purpose. Every thought reflects a heart that has grown wiser with time. As the moment approaches, one thing becomes increasingly clear. The conversation is no longer about the past. It is about understanding. It is about appreciation. It is about finally expressing what has remained unspoken for far too long. And when those first words are finally shared, they will not simply surprise you because of what they say. They will surprise you because they reveal how deeply someone can grow, reflect, and recognize the value of a meaningful connection. The next chapter brings that conversation closer than ever before, where the long-awaited words finally begin to unfold. Everything has been leading to this moment. The silence that once seemed endless is no longer empty. It has become a bridge between reflection and honesty. As your soulmate stands on one side of that bridge, they realize there is only one direction left to take, forward. For the first time in a long while, they stop asking themselves what might happen if they speak. Instead, they begin imagining what could happen if they never do. That single thought changes everything. Some opportunities are easy to replace. Some conversations are not. They understand that meaningful words lose nothing by being sincere. In fact, sincerity gives them their greatest strength. Picture someone reading an old journal filled with memories. Each page reminds them of a different lesson. Some pages bring quiet laughter. Others bring gratitude. A few reveal moments that seemed ordinary at the time but later became unforgettable. As the final page turns, one realization stands above every other. Certain people leave a lasting impact simply by being themselves. That realization stays with your soulmate. It follows them through ordinary days. It appears during unexpected moments of quiet. It reminds them that genuine connections deserve genuine words. And that is why the next conversation matters so much. It is no longer about searching for perfect sentences. It is about speaking from the heart. Imagine hearing someone begin with complete honesty. No matter how much time has passed, I never forgot the way you made me feel understood. That is the kind of message they have been preparing. Not because it sounds dramatic, but because it feels true to everything they have learned. The surprise is not only in the words. It is in the growth behind those words. People change. They learn. They reflect. Sometimes they discover that what mattered most was quietly beside them all along. Your soulmate has reached that understanding. They have realized that appreciation becomes stronger when it is finally expressed instead of simply remembered. Every experience has prepared them for this step. Every lesson has given them more clarity. Every quiet moment has strengthened their confidence. Now they are ready to replace uncertainty with openness. That is where this story reaches its most meaningful point. Not with loud promises. Not with impossible predictions. But with a conversation that has the power to bring understanding where questions once existed. If this story has resonated with you so far, consider sharing it with someone who enjoys thoughtful stories about meaningful connections, and subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories like this in the future. As this chapter closes, one final thought remains. The most memorable words are rarely the loudest. They are the words that arrive after patience, reflection, and courage have done their quiet work. And in the next chapter, those long-awaited words are finally spoken. revealing why the title, "Your Soulmate's Next Words May Surprise You," has been pointing toward this moment from the very beginning. A quiet truth often carries more power than the loudest announcement. That is exactly where this story reaches its next chapter. Your soulmate pauses for a moment, takes a deep breath, and realizes that every unanswered question has led to this single decision. They are no longer trying to predict every possible outcome. Instead, they are choosing honesty over uncertainty. For the first time, they understand that meaningful words do not need to be perfect. They only need to be genuine. As they reflect on everything that has happened, they notice something unexpected. The moments they once believed were ordinary have become the memories they treasure most. A simple conversation. A shared smile. A moment of encouragement. A kind gesture that asked for nothing in return. These memories have quietly become the foundation of everything they now feel. That realization surprises them. Not because the memories returned, but because they finally understand what those memories have been trying to tell them all along. Sometimes life gives people clarity only after they stop searching for it. Sometimes answers appear when the heart becomes calm enough to recognize them. That is exactly what has happened. Your soulmate has stopped running from their own thoughts. Instead, they have started listening to them. Every reflection has brought greater understanding. Every lesson has brought greater appreciation. Every passing day has strengthened one simple conclusion. Some connections are too meaningful to leave unexplored. That thought becomes impossible to ignore. Imagine standing beneath a clear evening sky, realizing that the destination you were searching for was never as far away as it seemed. The journey suddenly makes sense. Every challenge, every delay, every unexpected turn becomes part of a much larger picture. Your soulmate now sees that picture. They recognize how much they have grown. They recognize how much they have learned. Most importantly, they recognize the value of speaking sincerely before another opportunity quietly passes by. That understanding fills them with a quiet confidence. Not the confidence that seeks attention. The confidence that comes from knowing exactly what matters. Now they begin choosing each word with care. Not because they are afraid, but because they want every sentence to reflect the truth they have discovered. They want their words to express gratitude. They want their words to express respect. They want their words to express appreciation for a connection that has continued to leave a lasting impression. As that conversation comes closer, something remarkable happens. The fear that once seemed so powerful becomes much smaller. Hope quietly takes its place. That is when they realize something they never expected. The greatest conversations rarely begin with extraordinary speeches. They begin with one sincere sentence spoken at exactly the right moment. Your soulmate smiles quietly. Not because every question has been answered, but because they finally know which question truly matters. Will I be honest with what is in my heart? For the first time, the answer is simple. Yes. And that single answer changes the direction of everything that follows. The next chapter brings you to the conversation itself, where carefully chosen words reveal why this journey has always been leading toward a moment of honesty, understanding, and a new beginning. There are moments in life that seem ordinary until one sentence transforms everything that came before. This is one of those moments. Your soulmate finally understands that the greatest distance between two people is not measured in miles. It is measured in unspoken words. Every day those words remained hidden, they quietly grew heavier. Every memory added another reason to stop waiting and start speaking. For a long time, they believed there would always be another opportunity. Another season. Another perfect day. But reflection has taught them something unexpected. The perfect moment is rarely found. It is created. That realization fills them with a quiet determination they have never felt before. Imagine walking through a familiar place and suddenly noticing details that had always been there but somehow escaped your attention. The path has not changed. The surroundings have not changed. What changed is the way you see them. That is exactly what has happened inside your soulmate's heart. They are looking at the past with new understanding. The conversations they once thought were ordinary now feel meaningful. The laughter they once overlooked now feels unforgettable. The encouragement they once received now feels priceless. Every memory has become a reminder that genuine connections are built through consistency, kindness, and trust. As these thoughts continue to return, they begin asking themselves a different question. Not, what if I stay silent? But, what if these words are exactly what needs to be said? That single question changes everything. The hesitation that once held them back slowly disappears. In its place comes confidence. Not loud confidence. Quiet confidence. The kind that grows from honesty rather than certainty. Your soulmate now realizes something they never fully understood before. Some people enter our lives to teach us lessons. Some inspire us to become stronger. And some leave such a lasting impression that they quietly shape the way we see the future. That realization is impossible to ignore. As they prepare for the conversation ahead, they are no longer trying to impress anyone. They simply want to be genuine. They want every word to reflect gratitude. Every sentence to reflect respect. Every thought to reflect the truth they have discovered through time and reflection. For the first time, speaking feels easier than remaining silent. They picture the conversation in their mind. It does not begin with dramatic words. It begins with a calm smile. A deep breath. And one sincere sentence. I've spent a long time thinking about what truly matters. Everything that follows comes naturally. Not because it was rehearsed, but because it was real. That is what gives those words their strength. Not perfection. Authenticity. Sometimes the most memorable conversations are not the ones filled with extraordinary promises. They are the ones that allow two people to understand each other more deeply than ever before. Your soulmate believes this conversation can become one of those moments. A moment remembered not for its volume, but for its honesty. As this chapter comes to a close, only one step remains. The words have been chosen. The heart is ready. The silence has reached its end. The next chapter opens with the conversation itself, where the long-awaited message is finally shared and every chapter before it finds its purpose. The conversation finally begins, but not in the way anyone expected. There is no dramatic entrance. No grand announcement. Just a quiet moment where two paths that have been moving separately finally cross again. Your soulmate pauses for a second, smiles gently, and chooses honesty over hesitation. I've been thinking for a long time, they begin. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I wanted my words to reflect what I truly feel. For a brief moment, everything else fades into the background. The past no longer feels like a collection of unanswered questions. Instead, it becomes a series of lessons that prepared both hearts for this exact conversation. Your soulmate continues. I kept remembering the smallest moments. At first, I thought they were ordinary memories. But the more I reflected, the more I realized they were the moments that mattered most. They described simple conversations that brought unexpected comfort. Moments of encouragement that arrived at exactly the right time. Shared laughter that stayed in their memory long after the day had ended. They explain that these memories never disappeared. Instead, they quietly became stronger. With every passing season, they gained new meaning. Then comes the realization that changed everything. I finally understood that appreciation should never remain unspoken. Those words carry a quiet confidence. Not because they promise certainty, but because they express genuine gratitude. For the first time, your soulmate is no longer trying to explain the past. They are choosing to acknowledge what they have learned from it. They speak about growth, about patience, about discovering that meaningful connections are often recognized most clearly after time has offered a different perspective. The conversation becomes less about looking backward and more about understanding the present. There is a calmness in every sentence. A sincerity in every thought. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels rehearsed. Every word sounds as though it has been patiently waiting for the right moment. As the silence returns for a brief instant, your soulmate realizes something remarkable. Speaking honestly has lifted a weight they carried for much longer than they realized. Sometimes courage is not found in extraordinary actions. Sometimes courage is simply choosing authenticity. That choice transforms the entire conversation. It creates room for understanding. It creates room for hope. Most importantly, it creates room for a future that is no longer shaped by assumptions but by honest communication. As the conversation draws to a close, one final sentence remains. I don't know exactly what tomorrow will bring, but I know that I'm grateful I finally shared what was truly on my heart. Those words are simple. Yet they carry the greatest meaning of all. Because they remind us that the most memorable conversations are not remembered for dramatic promises. They are remembered because they are genuine. As this chapter ends, another question quietly appears. How will these words be received? That answer belongs to the final chapter, where every piece of this journey comes together and the meaning behind every previous moment becomes beautifully clear. Every meaningful story reaches a moment when silence gives way to understanding. This is that moment. As the conversation comes to an end, neither person feels the need to fill every quiet second with more words. Sometimes the deepest understanding is found in what no longer needs to be explained. Your soulmate looks back on the journey that brought them here. Every unanswered question. Every unexpected delay. Every ordinary day that once seemed unimportant. They now see that each experience was quietly preparing them to become someone capable of speaking with honesty, patience, and gratitude. For the first time, there is no pressure to be perfect. There is only a desire to be genuine. That simple shift changes everything. The words they shared were never meant to impress anyone. They were meant to express appreciation. To acknowledge growth. To recognize the value of a connection that continued to leave a lasting impression, even through seasons of silence. As they reflect on everything they have learned, one realization becomes impossible to ignore. The strongest relationships are not built on dramatic moments alone. They are built through kindness that is remembered. Trust that is earned. Respect that grows over time. And conversations that allow people to truly understand one another. That is the quiet surprise hidden inside this entire journey. The most important words were never extraordinary because they were loud. They became extraordinary because they were sincere. Your soulmate smiles, knowing they finally chose honesty instead of hesitation. They no longer wonder what might have happened if they had remained silent. Instead, they feel grateful that they found the courage to speak from the heart. Every chapter before this one now makes sense. The waiting. The reflection. The memories. The lessons. Each step had a purpose. Each moment contributed something valuable. And together they led to a conversation that neither heart will easily forget. Perhaps that is the greatest reminder this story offers. Life does not always move according to the timeline we expect. Sometimes understanding arrives slowly. Sometimes appreciation grows quietly. Sometimes the most meaningful conversations begin only after both people have learned the value of listening as much as speaking. As this story closes, it leaves behind one final thought. Never underestimate the power of honest words shared with kindness. A single sincere conversation can create understanding where confusion once existed. A single moment of courage can become the beginning of an entirely new chapter. And sometimes, the words that surprise us most are not the ones we never expected to hear. They are the words we hoped would one day be spoken with complete sincerity. Thank you for sharing this journey from beginning to end. May every meaningful conversation in your own life be guided by honesty, patience, understanding, and hope. The story ends here, but its message can continue wherever genuine hearts choose truth over silence. Not every ending is truly an ending. Some endings quietly become the beginning of a completely different journey. As the conversation fades into memory, your soulmate walks away with a sense of peace they have not felt for a very long time. Nothing around them has changed overnight. The world still moves at its usual pace. Yet something inside has become lighter. They finally understand that honesty has a remarkable way of replacing uncertainty with clarity. Looking back, they realize the greatest surprise was never hidden in a dramatic moment. It was hidden in a simple truth that took time to recognize. The words they shared did not erase the past. They gave the past new meaning. Every unanswered question became part of a larger story. Every delay became a lesson in patience. Every quiet season became an opportunity for growth. That realization changes the way they see everything that comes next. For the first time, they stop wondering whether meaningful connections are worth the effort. They already know the answer. Some connections quietly shape who we become. They encourage us to grow. They remind us to appreciate the people who bring light into ordinary moments. They teach us that sincerity is never wasted. As these thoughts settle in, another realization appears. Life is not measured only by the biggest milestones. Sometimes the most unforgettable moments begin with a calm conversation, a thoughtful sentence, or a heartfelt expression of gratitude. Those are the moments that remain long after louder memories fade. Your soulmate smiles, not because every mystery has been solved, but because they have discovered something more valuable than certainty. They have discovered authenticity. They understand that genuine words have a lasting impact. Kindness leaves a lasting impression. Respect builds lasting trust. And conversation spoken with honesty can create lasting memories. Perhaps that is the message this entire journey has been leading toward. We often spend so much time waiting for extraordinary signs that we overlook the quiet beauty of simple, sincere moments. Yet those moments are often the ones that shape our lives most deeply. As this story reaches its final page, imagine closing a favorite book. You may know how it ends, but the message continues long after the last sentence. That is what meaningful stories do. They stay with us. They encourage reflection. They remind us that every person has the ability to choose understanding instead of assumption, gratitude instead of regret, and honesty instead of silence. Wherever your own journey leads, may you always recognize the value of genuine conversations, thoughtful actions, and the courage to express what truly matters. Some words are remembered because they are dramatic. The most meaningful words are remembered because they are real. And sometimes, that quiet truth is the greatest surprise of all. The final truth does not arrive with noise. It arrives with understanding. As the conversation settles into silence, your soulmate realizes that the words they have spoken are only the beginning. The greatest surprise was never hidden inside a single sentence. It was hidden inside the journey that made those words possible. For so long, they believed that time was creating distance. Now they understand that time was creating perspective. Every season brought another lesson. Every challenge revealed another strength. Every quiet moment uncovered another reason to appreciate what had always been there. That realization changes everything. They remember the first impression they had of you. They remember the conversations that seemed ordinary at the time. They remember moments of encouragement, kindness, and patience that slowly became impossible to forget. Only now do they understand how deeply those moments shaped their thoughts. The memories were never competing with one another. They were joining together to tell one complete story. A story of growth. A story of gratitude. A story of discovering the value of honesty. Your soulmate smiles as they realize something unexpected. The answers they searched for were never hidden in extraordinary events. They were hidden inside everyday moments that became meaningful with time. A simple conversation. A shared laugh. A thoughtful gesture. A quiet moment of understanding. Each memory became another reason to believe that genuine connections deserve sincere words. That realization fills them with peace. Not because every question has been answered, but because they no longer fear speaking honestly. They understand that authenticity creates a foundation stronger than assumptions ever could. As they look toward the future, they no longer focus on what could have happened differently. Instead, they appreciate everything they have learned. Patience taught them resilience. Reflection taught them wisdom. Honesty taught them courage. And gratitude taught them what truly matters. Perhaps that is the greatest message of this entire story. Meaningful relationships are not defined by dramatic moments alone. They are shaped by trust, strengthened by respect, remembered through kindness, and sustained by conversations that come from the heart. The title of this journey was never about a single surprising sentence. It was about discovering why those words mattered. Because words spoken with sincerity carry a lasting impact. They inspire hope. They create understanding. They remind us that genuine feelings become stronger when they are expressed with honesty and care. As this final chapter closes, one thought remains. Every meaningful connection has a story. Every story has a turning point. And sometimes the greatest surprise is discovering that the conversation you waited for was never meant to change the past. It was meant to open the door to a wiser, more honest future. Thank you for following this story from its first moment to its last. May it remind you that patience, kindness, and honest communication often create the most memorable chapters of all.